Today we're here to bust some myths about the Sustainable Salons program. You may have thought about some of these before, or you may just be hearing these for the first time, but we're here to bust the heck out of these myths. So let's get stuck right into it. Myth number 1. The program is too expensive. Ewelina, what would you say to that?
What?
Say what?
No, we designed the program to be cost neutral. So we educate the salon owner and the team to on-charge a Sustainable Salons fee. And then we look at the average client visits that the salon has, and that's how the membership works. So when they on-charge the $3, it equalizes through the membership. So it's cost neutral. It shouldn't cost them anything.
And in any case, it actually makes you money because, again, the directory and all the rewards program, you're actually making money from Sustainable Salons.
I think that myth is well and truly busted. But on the back of that, what if the client says, I don't want to pay an extra $3?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's where the storytelling comes in on what goodness happens with the $3. And if the customer still, after that, when they hear about the hair booms and the ponytail stories, if they're still not passionate about either of those stories of what goodness we do with the $3, this might sound a little bit controversial, but is it really the right customer for you?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of truth in that. Sometimes when I have that conversation with salon owners, they're like, because they're afraid. They're afraid to put their prices up all the time. It's notorious in the hairdressing industry and beauty industry and dog grooming mainly, where what I call the feel-good industries, where we make people feel good. You never want to, you're always scared to on-charge more costs. But I would say you're building a brand. You're selling a certain product. If every client just came in and says, I don't want to pay for that fancy shampoo, or I don't want to pay for your $200 color and haircut service, well, what are you going to do? Just discount for everyone? You're going to build values into your brand, and then you're going to execute it, and the client will respect you for that. And I always say to that, if a client does say, I don't want to pay, just say, look, this time it's on us, but next time, please, when you come in, this is who we are.
Thank you. The next myth. We're already sustainable. Councils can recycle all of my waste.
Yeah. Well, if that was true, we wouldn't exist.
I was going to say that statement is a myth.
And I think even the councils wish they could recycle what we do, but the reality is, and then sometimes they even try to fake it. We get that all the time, where they're like, yeah, you can just put the hair in the compost bin. And then when we go actually through their supply chain, the composters are like, they should not be saying that. And the councils are red-faced. But the reality is over 80% of a salon's waste can't go through a recycle bin because it's all deemed contaminated. And that's the reason we actually exist, is because they can't do it.
Exactly.
So what are some, let me go through just some high level ones which council will never touch, you know. So if I had to go just across a few material lines, like for example, chemicals, the council's probably not going to provide a chemical recycling service into your business. When it comes to also mainly all the tools recycling, they're not going to probably provide tool recycling to all of that. When it comes to hair recycling, again, it's too complicated for them to deal with, and that's probably not something that they'll be able to do. When it comes to, I think, metals and plastic, they are going to get a lot better over the years, but until they can get their wash facilities up to speed and know how to separate those materials better when it goes through their stream, you probably won't see it for quite some years. The only evidence we can see of it happening globally is they're just incinerating it, turning it waste to energy. But I honestly say to most people and to councils, please do not go down that path, because that is the opposite of sustainability. Sustainability is about preserving resources for future generations, not burning them for just energy for a one-time use.
But to elevate it more from just the recycling conversation, we're built for purpose. So a council doesn't have for purpose built in their, let's say, business model. So everything we collect has a good story, a community purpose. So, you know, our ponytails that do good for someone who needs a wig, you know, all the research we do on hair and making that a resource of the future. And also we are a business from industry for industry. So we are here to better the hair and beauty industry. That's not what other providers or councils are about. We are here to elevate the industry from just doing beautiful hair to be a leader in the circular economy and globally being recognized as an industry that is leading the world in a better space. So I really need to put that out there, is that you're with a company that has a bigger vision of not just us as a business, but us as an industry.
So it's not even just about the materials, it's also about the impact on the other side of those materials.
Well, it's simple. I put this to many owners. I was like, what's the council doing for your business?
Myth busted. Next up is that it takes a lot of effort. I have to rinse my bottles and wash the foil. What would you say to that?
Yeah, well, the great thing, before Sustainable Salons in Refoil, we had to get you to crush it. You don't need to do that anymore under Sustainable Salons. So if you're with Sustainable Salons, because when we collect the foil, it actually goes into a machine where we crush it into big bales. But to go to your question about the contamination of the foil, well, you don't need to worry about that, because the analogy I give here, it's like the Terminator, and when he melted, he just goes back to liquid. That's what happens with aluminium. And even if it's got some color on it, it doesn't affect the liquefaction of that foil when it goes into the smelter. We do encourage, though, by removing some of that color off when you're taking the foils off the hair is greatly appreciated, because it actually helps us with our recyclers to establish the weight. Because when we sell foils based on weight, the last thing they want to know is that there's 5% there that's still color. It's actually a weight problem. And just to give you some funny history to that, one of the major problems when can recycling used to be a huge problem is kids used to put rocks in cans before they sold them. And all the recyclers are like, damn you kids, you're cheating me on the weight. So it's more of a weight issue than a contamination on the foil. When it comes to the plastic bottles, though, putting that in, you got to be as clean as possible is far better for us. But the biggest problem we actually happen with bottles is the contamination on the outside. It's the glue that holds the sticker together. So we're trying to educate the companies about embossing their message on the bottle rather than using a glued sticker, because it's that glue is actually the biggest problem we deal with when it comes to recycling the bottles. But because we have a tight relationship with plastic recyclers that we work with, we can actually deal with that. But again, it's an expensive cleaning process to actually then achieve our results to produce product lines like the combs and coasters and pot plants.
I mean, the other side of returning bottles that still have product in them is you're just throwing away product.
All the time. Well, again, another funny story is the straw. So you know how you have a pump that pumps out the shampoo, is sometimes the straw doesn't make it all the way to the bottom. And I don't know, this is a myth maybe more for the hair care companies, is why does the straw only go 3/4 down? And then you leave this big chunk of goo at the bottom, where salons literally have to either cut their bottles and scoop it out at the bottom, which, trust me, if you're Italian and you worked in the salons I worked in, they would cut every bottle and scoop every last cent out of that bottle. But we encourage it. We're like, guys, get that goo out, use it on your clients, because we would love to just get a clean bottle back, which makes our job much easier.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
It is.
Myth definitely busted. Next myth: we don't have enough room for the bins. We're a small salon. We don't have any room.
I love that one.
Yeah, this is one. We actually get this one quite a lot. You want to go answer this one?
Well, that should never be a problem, because we have all sizes of bins. We have stackable bins. We just need to see your space so we can help you with that. But no space. We've never encountered a space that's too small. We'll always find a solution for you.
Honestly, I think if you go and see the salons that we service in shopping centres, they literally have no back room, no space, and they use our vertical bins, which can work really well in there. So again, we show visual imagery of that. But our horizontal bins that go across, they come in 3 different sizes. And we've got little ones, medium ones, big ones. I think once people know that, they're like, oh, okay. But I don't think it ever should be. We've never found a location we can't service.
Yeah.
So with 4 different bin sizes, I'm pretty sure this myth is busted. Thank you, Paul and Ewelina, for helping us bust some myths about the Sustainable Salons membership. If you have any myths that we haven't covered today, please send them in. We'd love to actually answer these for you, so it makes the next step a lot easier for you. Now, we're at 10 years of Sustainable Salons, and your anniversary is coming up next year.
Yeah.
Sustainable Salons anniversary.
Oh, yeah,
not
that one
Paul
too.
and Ewelina anniversary.
I keep
That's a
missing
little bit longer
our
than
actual
that.
anniversary. Anyway.
So 10 years is obviously a huge milestone for any relationship, business, whatever it happens to be. And we've talked a lot about the past, and we've talked a lot about the present, about how it works. What does the future of Sustainable Salons look like to you?
Oh, I love this question.
Making more impact. Yeah. I don't know if many people notice, but we call ourselves above ground miners. A cool thing that happened this year, we launched our first impact report. So I guess looking into the future, I'd love us to make more impact through almost changing the whole business model, which means the world is changing towards better, meaning we, in a way, complete our mission that resources are, well, waste isn't seen as waste anymore.
Yeah.
Make salon waste history.
Right? Like, it's completing the mission, because in a lot of what we've been doing, we've been pioneering, because it's just not here. So I'm hoping that we've already shown others the way, because we're not afraid of others doing what we're doing, because, you know, the planet benefits, we all benefit. So it's
business as usual.
better business as usual,
We always
and
say
that
this.
becomes the norm. You know, as we
We're still shocked that we still find salons that don't even know about us. I'm like, guys, we do so much, and you're still like, what are you guys doing? We're like, gosh, we're not there yet. We only impact 10% of the industry. We've still got 90%. Come on, let's do this. Like, that's what drives us, I think, internally. It's just like, until that's business as usual,
yeah.
it's like we know the job's not done yet. And then once that's in there, and I always like even refer to it like a utility bill. Like, you pay
I
it.
think that's the best analogy.
You maybe don't like it,
Yeah.
but it's what keeps the energy running. It keeps your business running. It keeps you making money, and then you realize, yeah, I can't live without it. I do need it, and I think that needs to be applied the same to sustainability. Like, we all might not want to pay for it or be part of it, but we do know how important it is and how much it matters. And until that is literally carved in stone, meaning it's just business as usual, and you know, you just get on with it. Like, we shouldn't have to ask any more questions. How many more questions can you ask about your utility bill? You're just like, just take my money, whatever, you know. But it plays a critical role in our lives, you know. So
what does that look like for the rest of the salon experience? So we've talked about making salon waste history, which is getting to that and solving that mission of impact. And the other side of it, as the evolution, has been making every salon experience sustainable.
Yeah.
So what does it also look like in the future to make every salon experience sustainable?
I think there's a lot of areas, but I'll just touch on a few of the key ones, right? We know there's still a long journey. The digital world is coming fast at us, and still a lot of salons are trying to keep up. So we know, let's say, for example, booking. Someone just wanted to book your next hair service or beauty service, so forth, is going to happen through a digital platform. So we recently advanced our directory to have a book now button. So a customer can come through, find the salon on the same platform, hit the book now button, and go directly to the salon's booking platform to book. We still know to make a great customer experience, we've got to work on that technology with the salon softwares to make it a seamless experience. And also, we can then at that single moment add in those touch points of marketing to make it an even better experience as you're going in to have your next hair service. So we're going to keep working on that. So not only the salon owner can have a lot better data to know, great, Sustainable Salons made me $2,000 this month and X amount of clients, love you guys, that's why I'm with you, customer loves us, great. So that's why we want to work on that directory to make it even better for business. Other areas are like our resources and making stuff. We now know how to make stuff from plastics and how to do stuff with hair. It's now, well, what's the next great thing we can make that's going to generate even more profits within your business, but also build that circular economy? And really, the world's our oyster there with plastics, because really that's just a mold, we now know. And the hard part is actually the washing and cleaning of plastics, which we're getting a lot better at. But that's just us building more infrastructure. So the more members we get means the more money we make, the more infrastructure we can build. And this is going to happen much faster. And when it also comes to the education side, we're embedding ourselves right through the education process. So just you now choosing to be a hairdresser, by default, you are already now studying the whole world of sustainability. So what happens with that is you're coming out now empowered, knowing what to do, how to act, how to implement it in your business. And I think education is critical along this journey. So working hard on gamifying that experience. Because again, we want to make it fun. You know, because when I see most sustainability education, it's as boring as, you know, it's like, flick off your switches and turn off your water. I'm like, come on, we can do so much better than that. You know, we can actually, I nearly say Netflix it a bit, you know, turn it into a documentary, a story, and people really then start visualizing the future of how they, maybe a student wants to build the next blow dryer or build the next color company, and they'll really start with sustainability at their core. So that's another good example. And another area we're looking at is, well, we're very good at all the recycling. We're really good at, you know, the impact in the communities and purpose, but we're still got a few other key areas we need to really lift salons that we don't have a lot of control, but we can set you in the right direction. For example, your energy. We need to get you to a 100% renewable energy. There's providers now. We're partnering up with those providers to point you in the right direction, to show you that it's not going to probably even cost you any more than what you're currently paying for your energy, and we can switch you to 100% renewable. Another key area is your water, is partnering with good water tap companies where, you know, salons are just using water all day long through those basins, about getting water saving technologies put into their basins. And how to start measuring that, because again, water is going to become very critical. So energy, water, waste is really a place we know we can play in really well. And honestly, this never ends for us until we know that every salon is now embedded in this journey, because that's what we feel our responsibility is to this industry. We get all these other industries saying, come and help us, but I'm like, we haven't finished yet here. And until we finish with these industries, we'll keep fighting to make sure that we see this through, and then hopefully the next gen take it on and, like I said, make it business as usual.
Well, Ewelina, thank you for talking us through what the vision for the future looks like for Sustainable Salons. Again, we're marking the 10-year anniversary this year, which is absolutely incrable.
Do we get a cake?
10 cakes, one for every year. And I think the 10-year anniversary is actually aluminium is the material. So
yeah.
your cake's going to be made out of aluminium that we recover from salons.
Recycled aluminium.
It's going to be recycled aluminium. But right now, it's all about inspiring the people in the network in Sustainable Salons. So it's about members, it's about people who are thinking about signing up, it's about customers and clients. So I'm going to ask a series of questions. I'd love to hear what you think everyone should be doing. So first things first is, what would you say to a salon owner still on the fence about becoming a sustainable salon?
Look, for me, this one is always like, what are you waiting for? Implement this correctly. You don't lose any money, you make money. And I always say, well, what do you got to lose? Really, what have you got to lose? We're not Telstra. We're not locking you in for a 2-year contract. You know, you can come off after 1 week if you like. If that's how you really feel, just try it out. And the honest thing I say to most people is, don't take my word for it. Just talk to your clients. I would encourage you, just read the impact report and just say, would you pay $3 on the end of your bill? And every time I've done this to a salon, they've all come back saying, yeah, you're right. The client doesn't care. I think I cared. And you say, yeah, that's what we see all the time. But again, makes us work that little bit harder.
Ewelina, what would you say to the salon owner?
Why not? I'm always really interested in people's psyche, and how much do they know about the program. I guess that's always sort of the market researcher in me. It's like, what do they know and what do they not know? We're a values-based company. We're about people, planet, and profit. So what is it that you don't like? What have we not done that is aligning with your value sets? For me, it's always about a conversation. So maybe I probably don't belong in the sales team.
I think we have just go straight back to research. I'm like, just tell me more.
I'm always curious to know why not, and we always appreciate the honest feedback.
It helps us.
So we understand what we can do better,
So we can get you part of the program and part of the movement, because yes, it's the Sustainable Salons program, but it's so much bigger than us. And it's really, again, bringing it back to the next generation.
Love it. Thank
Yeah.
you. What's the best way anyone can find a sustainable salon for their next service?
Jump on the salon directory on
That's a silly question.
sustainablesalons.org.
Look, it's the directory, right? That's why we built it. It's so easy. Go on there, find your salon, and now with the Book Now button, you can get a direct booking straight into that salon. So that's probably our number one way of how a salon can find all of our salons across Australia and New Zealand. Other ways is, honestly, if you start walking down your main street, you've probably got one or two sustainable salons on your main street. There's 1,500 of them now across Australia and New Zealand. So we're out there now, and I think we now have even a sustainable salon in every town of more than 10,000 people right across Australia and New Zealand, so even in the small regional towns now.
Incredible. What would you say to those who are current Sustainable Salons members? How can they continue to make more impact than they're already making?
More. Well, from us specifically, I always say we need to hear from you. What is it specifically? Because we can solve many problems. It's just, where do we put our attention? Like any bosses, you know, you want to do everything, but we need to get very focused on which of the activities. We've heard loud and clear about energy, water, and we're acting upon those to make it easier through our rewards program to make this even better. But the biggest one for me is, I think, in our volunteering and being part of your community. We're putting on more and more events constantly about community activity, but you also don't need to do that through us, right? Your community is screaming out for you. You can also step in and make that leap of faith yourself. And if you need our help, we're here. We can point you in the right direction, but honestly, it doesn't matter if you're providing a dog grooming, a beauty service, or a haircut. They're all very valuable, essential services that people need. And your local shelter will literally open their door the next day for you if you say, I'd just like to come and donate 2 hours of my time.
And we know the industry is quite tight-knit, so what about salons being right next to each other? One of them is a member, one of them is not a member. What do you want the members to do?
Go and talk to each other. We always say, if you're nervous about signing up to Sustainable Salons, have you just reached out to someone who's on the program to just ask the question? I think when people do that through peer-to-peer, you can ask all the questions that you might be too afraid to ask us, or you don't want to ask the company directly. And we encourage you. I say this all the time. Go talk to another Sustainable Salon. Ask how their experience is about the program. Do the clients pay the $3? How do the rewards program work? Do you actually get clients coming through the door? All those questions. Of course, we're going to answer yes, yes, yes. But you need to hear it from somebody else. So we get out there. So honestly, I think it's important that you actually play your role within your community. And I always say to Salon, don't be afraid to shout it out. You know, because we get a lot of people saying, I do it, but I don't want to tell anyone. And this, I'm like, shout it out. That's what marketing 101 is, because the minute you shout it out, you start attracting your tribe.
Ewelina, what would you say to those who just want to be involved in sustainable salons or in sustainability, and they're just taking their first step in the journey but aren't ready to fully sign up?
Well, for those, we have our Ponytails program. They can jump on the website and learn about how they can be part of that. All the education is there to learn how to cut off a ponytail correctly, how to donate it to us, and how to recognize the person in the chair for doing a really awesome donation.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Paul and Ewelina, for talking through your entire Sustainable Salons journey, your past, present, and future. If you're already involved in Sustainable Salons as a member, thank you so much for all the impact that you're making. If you're a client looking to get your next haircut, jump on the directory, go and find a sustainable salon to make some impact. And of course, if you're kind of on the fence, come join us through the Ponytail donation kit, or just chat to a Sustainable Salon that's already part of the membership. Thanks so much for the journey.